and 1 and 2 and 3. Bow. And then comes the next chord. Things to point out about this section just for knowing something, all right? What do we have here? Just chordally. I just froze for a second at C minor because I would have went to A flat. Why would I have gone to A flat? We're going around the circle right now. We're going around the circle of fifths, which, you know, I'm not even going to really waste time on this. It's called the circle of fifths. I think of it, most musicians think of it as a circle of fourths. It's prioritized in terms of upward direction, okay? But every chord wants to resolve to the chord a fourth above it. It's in its very nature. And when you do that kind of thing, you get a very musical and kind of, easygoing kind of chord progression. You go G minor, goes up a fourth, 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, I played G major. G minor to C, goes up a fourth to F, goes up a fourth to B flat, goes up a fourth E flat. Now it goes to its relative minor, C minor, which is, an extension in a way, is in the same family of A flat, which would have been the fourth. And then that goes to D. That is a real serious chord right there, right? When you think about it just as the chords themselves, and regardless of this little pretty flowing melody that we have in the song, that song wants to tonicize G minor, which was the chord that began this section. So this is a tricky thing. I find this is, when you're playing up the speed, this would probably be the hardest one to do. Go up to E flat here on your 18th fret. It's not that hard when you have all the time in the world to do it. But the problem is you're leading with your pinky, and most people aren't good at that. It's your weakest finger. It's not just mine or yours. It's everyone's weakest finger. Okay, so what is it? Okay, so that's hard. I don't want to tell you. I'll tell you the right fingers, of course. You end on the 9th fret of the 5th string. And then you go up a long way to the 18th fret. What I would call section 3. Section 3 begins with an E flat arpeggio up here. Well, that's it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. Whoops. 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. Now this, again, we're going to see C minor. And that's really our first run through passing tones. And the whole song, okay? Everything so far in the song has been all just arpeggios. Very rare to see a color note added. Now this is a whole little stretch. Very spooky, right? Now and that leads us to our third measure of this section of overall measure 27 from D. And this is hard. I guess what's hard about it is it's, the frets get smaller up here. You've got to use your pinky to play some of these things. That's how it's done, the first 3 bars. And that's where we'll leave it right now. That's 4 bars, right? So you have this D major arpeggio, E flat major, C minor coming down, D major going up, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, and then it goes back to G minor. That is the easiest part of the whole thing. Those 3 notes, that one measure of G minor. Probably, and you could say like the most romantic part of this kind of flurry of different chords and melody that's going on in terms of direction, up and down and so on, is there's this one part where he repeats himself twice. Now we're on the fifth measure of this section, from E flat. Oh, it's the same exact arpeggio again that you just used on E flat a second ago. And the C thing going down, the C minor I should say, is similar. Isn't that pretty? I'm sorry. So from E flat on the fifth bar of this section, section 3. And now this is also a little tricky, this cycling through the D major arpeggio. 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1. That's how it goes. Now, okay, so that is a really interesting part. I hope you guys check that out for your own, education or whatever. Because he goes from playing, like I said, we're in 6/8, easily divisible into what, 2 sets of 3. We can argue whether this is in 6/8 because we never see a further subdivision of the beat. We don't see any 16th notes. So it feels to me more like it's in 3/4 actually. The interesting, maybe this is an argument, and in fact, this part for interpreting it being in 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. You should practice all these parts slow. They definitely sound a lot different, don't they? And finally, now that brings us to the final bit of the exposition, section 4. From the G chord in this last little bit. This is the easy part, remember. A lot of glare, right? Let's try to turn it down a little. Okay, so from G on the first string. 1 and 2 and 3. All right, now you go up a whole step. And this is where it gets hard if you don't have a 24-fret guitar like Trey has. See, that actually kind of hurts. And then major arpeggio, minor arpeggio, minor arpeggio, major arpeggio, G major, A minor, B minor, C. This little tiddly bit here, it's like an E flat chord, a G minor chord. Now this part. Now there's 2 or 3 different ways you can do this. You just got to figure out what's best for you. From C major, 1, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3. From D major, 1, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3. Right? So the whole section now. Ready? Oh, it's not that part. What is it?